Retail traders chase transaction speed. Institutional engineers chase systems that don't break under pressure. Because once capital scale approaches institutional stress, raw speed alone becomes irrelevant. What matters is structural resilience, and that is exactly what Aptos was built to pursue. Imagine a blockchain not optimized for users chasing quick gains, but conceived for builders who value secure, composable execution. A network not built for hype, but engineered for execution under high-load pressure. Now consider this. What if the next breakthrough in blockchain does not come from faster consumer adoption? What if it comes from a system designed through the lens of engineers who build risk frameworks? And what if that system is not Ethereum, not even Solana, but Aptos? Hold that. Aptos has not been leading loud narratives. Yet behind the surface, some of the most technically disciplined teams in traditional finance are examining one thing: its architecture. Here is why this matters. In 2025, the macro environment is not rewarding speculation. Liquidity is returning, but cautiously. Institutional capital rotates through disciplines, not excitement. Ethereum 2025 solidifies as the root settlement layer. Solana emerges as high-throughput execution. But a question is arising quietly. What happens when throughput meets stress? Raw speed is irrelevant if failure cascades. Institutional frameworks require deterministic reliability. Execution that survives overload. That question is not theoretical. If networks degrade under load, capital scale will not follow. And here is where the problem tightens. Even Solana, despite high throughput, shows vulnerability under peak conditions. Network pauses draw attention. Upgrades impact system predictability. Institutional deployment does not ask for acceleration. It asks for integrity when systems strain. Engineering precision. Execution confidence. Failure tolerance measured not in seconds, but in transaction consistency. And this is where Aptos shifts the frame. Aptos is not marketed as a high-speed Layer 1 competitor. It is engineered around Move, a programming language originally built for enterprise-grade digital asset systems, now applied to blockchain structure. Unlike typical Layer 1 architectures using account models, Move utilizes strict resource access controls. State changes can execute deterministically. In simpler terms, less risk of cross-transaction interference. Less recalibration when network pressure builds. Here is what most observers miss. Aptos designed parallel execution not simply to enhance speed, but to maintain reliability. Solana pushes raw throughput. Aptos manages concurrency safely. Ethereum extends capacity via Layer 2s. Solana accelerates performance. Aptos redefines how workloads compute at the base layer. Bridge that thought. Institutional adoption depends on system controllability, not just system capability. Risk models test failure scenarios long before deployment. Retail often asks which network is faster. Institutional teams ask which network breaks first, and what failure looks like. This is where everything shifts. If modular adoption expands and tokenized assets migrate on-chain, Aptos may not be the consumer transaction network. It may be the execution framework used to design internal systems before capital allocates. Now zoom out. The infrastructure discussion is shifting from Layer 1 versus Layer 2 to execution logic versus integration resilience. Ethereum 2025 retains settlement sovereignty. Solana evolves as execution fluidity. Aptos positions as a controlled environment before institutional scale. Hold that thought, now ask why it matters. Wait, something here isn't being questioned. Retail often frames Solana versus Aptos as TPS. Institutional engineers frame it differently. They ask what happens when 17 transactions hit the same resource simultaneously. That is not a performance question. That is a structural integrity question. Run that through your risk lens. If you value depth like this, subscribe to Crypto Wayfarer. We do not report on headlines. We interrogate pressure points. Aptos is built around 3 measurable outcomes: parallel execution, data locality, state integrity. Parallel execution reduces queue buildup as activity expands. Data locality minimizes cross-node communication overhead. State integrity sustains composability under congestion. Compared to Ethereum and Solana, this structural trifecta is rare. Ethereum scales externally. Solana scales via hardware capability. Aptos scales via computation architecture. Think how financial engineers perform scenario testing. They do not model average conditions. They model against systemic failure. Networks that survive those models become candidates. Here is where dynamic shifts. Aptos may not become the first network deployed for mass retail use, but it may become the base framework tested in controlled enterprise pilots. Institutional backing highlights investor confidence. Aptos secured early funding from Andreessen Horowitz, known as A16Z, alongside other major institutional investors. Backed by institutional-scale venture investors such as Jump Crypto, ecosystem development includes enterprise pilots focused on process automation and transaction fidelity, not consumer engagement. When capital prioritizes execution integrity before user acquisition, architecture leads before visibility. This is where the real reveal begins. If enterprise conditions confirm operational resilience, Aptos could evolve as the model for financial execution systems, even if it does not dominate consumer activity first. Shift the lens. Risks must be identified clearly. Token unlock schedules add pressure. Ecosystem depth remains smaller than Ethereum or Solana. Developer expansion improving, but still shallow. Competition is intense. Yet, unlike most chains that retrofit institutional compatibility, Aptos embeds it structurally from inception. Now connect that to decision flow. Blockchain adoption flows through layered roles. Ethereum 2025 anchors settlement. Layer 2 extends volume. Solana accelerates liquidity. Aptos may reinforce structural stability under composite stress. Roadmap signals continue this strategy. Aptos teams focus on modular scaling and frameworks for parallel computing. Developer tools align with software engineering workflows over chain-native iteration. Systems evolve through strategic adoption, not exposure. Aptos is preparing for slow, externally verified integration. No sign yet of explosive retail user growth. This is where the narrative fractures. If institutional adoption prioritizes architecture integrity above throughput, Aptos has the potential to serve as a reference execution framework. Architecturally relevant before mass adoption. system readiness before system exposure. And now the final escalation. History does not reward the fastest protocol. It rewards the one that never collapsed when capital weight triggered structural stress. When the market accelerates into turbulence, performance is forgotten. Integrity is remembered. And that is why engineering teams within traditional finance are exploring Aptos for its future structural capabilities, not for its current metrics. Some institutional-grade engineers may view Aptos as a test case for structural resilience under stress. Stay sharp, stay strategic, and keep wayfaring.